Welcome back. I'm Luna Celestine, and today we're turning our attention to an astrological event that carries significant weight: the full moon and partial lunar eclipse in Libra, taking place on April 17th, 2025. This isn't just a luminous moment in the night sky. It's a subtle but powerful turning point within your personal cycle. And if you have strong Leo placements in your chart, you're likely to feel this shift more intensely as it activates the axis of your 3rd and 9th houses, the domains of thought, communication, belief systems, and your broader perspective on life. This eclipse signals a release, a chance to reassess old narratives, outdated beliefs, and conversations left unfinished. In this video, I'll walk you through how this energy may unfold across different areas of your life, from work to relationships, to the deeper internal recalibrations asking for your attention, because this moment isn't meant to overwhelm you, it's meant to realign you with what's true, quietly, precisely. And if you're ready to see more clearly, let's begin. This eclipse doesn't just stir the air around you, it begins to clear it. When the full moon rises in Libra and casts its light on the parts of your chart that govern communication, perception, and belief, it does more than highlight what you say. It reveals why you've been saying it, or perhaps why you've stayed silent. Leo, this moment invites you into a quiet but necessary confrontation with the beliefs you've carried for too long. Not all of them are wrong. Some may have shaped you beautifully, but others, they're outdated armor, once protective, now constrictive. The question that echoes through this eclipse isn't dramatic or loud. It's quiet, almost whispered. Do you still believe this? You may find yourself challenged by a conversation you didn't expect. A sibling, a colleague, a neighbor, someone in your immediate circle may say something that strikes a nerve, not to harm you, but to reflect something you've tried not to face. It could be a moment of friction, but more likely it's a moment of truth, the kind that asks you to speak up, not to win, but to be seen. And you, Leo, are no stranger to visibility, but this time it's not about spotlight performances or public declarations. This is about internal alignment, about expressing what you actually think, not what you've been taught to think, about claiming a belief because it resonates now, not because it once did. And when you do that, when your voice matches your truth, that's when your words begin to carry real power again. So don't rush through this energy. If you're feeling unsettled, that's not a sign to suppress. It's a sign to listen deeper. Sit with what's surfacing. Ask yourself, what do I need to say that I've been holding back? What belief no longer reflects who I am? Let this eclipse guide you not into reaction, but into reflection, and from there, into liberation. Libra, as an air sign ruled by Venus, brings a refined lens to every relationship, especially those built on shared effort and mutual goals. When this lunar eclipse illuminates your 3rd and 9th house axis, Leo, it sends a clear message. Look at your partnerships, not just who you work with, but how you collaborate. For someone like you, radiant, autonomous, and deeply driven, collaboration can sometimes feel like compromise. But this full moon isn't asking you to dim your light. It's asking you to examine whether your current partnerships are reflecting that light back to you, or quietly siphoning it away. You may find that a creative collaboration, business arrangement, or long-standing agreement no longer feels reciprocal. It might have started with shared vision, but now you're noticing the imbalance. Perhaps you're doing the heavy lifting, or maybe the emotional labor is quietly piling up on your side of the scale. And while it may be tempting to keep peace or avoid disruption, this eclipse leaves little room for polite pretending. Don't be surprised if clarity arrives through discomfort, a conversation, a contract revision, a sudden shift in tone. What matters is what it reveals, and what it frees you to finally acknowledge. Not all shared paths are meant to last forever. Some were meant to teach you what alignment feels like, and what it doesn't. On the other hand, This is also a potent time to reconnect with collaborators who do meet you in truth. Those rare individuals who challenge you creatively without diminishing your vision, who offer feedback without control. If someone like that resurfaces, or if a new opportunity arises that feels grounded and honest, don't overlook it. Libra loves symmetry, and this moon may be making space for something or someone who truly complements your fire. So whether it's closing a chapter or writing a new one, trust what's being reflected back to you now. The eclipse doesn't lie, it simply reveals. And what you choose to do with that truth, that's where your real power begins. You've always been a sign of forward motion, Leo. Bold, passionate, unwavering. When you set your sights on something, the world can feel like a stage, and you're determined to leave it lit in your glow. But under this Libra eclipse, something quieter begins to stir. It's not asking you to abandon your drive. It's asking you to check. What is it costing you? This is a moon of recalibration, and in your case, it may reveal the subtle ways your life has drifted out of alignment. Not in one dramatic collapse, but in the slow, invisible erosion that happens when you put everything else ahead of your own restoration. Maybe it's the sleep you've been sacrificing, the meals you've rushed through, the joy you've put on hold until everything is done. Except, Leo, everything is never really done. The full moon in Libra holds up a mirror and asks, where have you gone out of balance in the name of ambition? It's not judging your hunger for more. It's simply reminding you that a life out of rhythm eventually runs out of music. This is a call to return to harmony, to remember that your fire burns longer when it's not constantly being pushed to the edge. It might mean setting firmer boundaries around your time, saying no without guilt, letting yourself rest, not as a reward for productivity, but as a right. Libra teaches the art of grace, not just in relationships, but in how you treat yourself. True success, especially for someone as radiant as you, doesn't come from controlling every variable. It comes from knowing when to pause, when to breathe, when to allow life to flow through you instead of always pushing through it. So if you've felt off balance lately, this eclipse isn't a punishment. It's a recalibration. Let it guide you back to center, not by doing more, but by doing less with deeper intention. Because a well-rested Leo, that's someone unstoppable. Financially, this eclipse may not shout, but it will whisper with precision. When the full moon in Libra activates your communication and belief axis, it begins to shift the way you think about money, rather than the money itself. And that distinction matters, Leo, because how you perceive wealth often determines how you allow it to flow. You may begin to question certain financial habits, contracts, or thought patterns that have quietly defined your relationship with prosperity. Perhaps you've believed that success requires constant striving, or that abundance only comes when you're exhausted. But this eclipse gently challenges those assumptions. It asks, what if your financial growth could come with more grace, more intelligence, more aligned strategy, rather than sheer force? For some Leos, this could mark a turning point in how you negotiate, particularly in collaborations, shared resources, or intellectual work. A conversation or contract might surface now, bringing clarity around what you truly value versus what you've been settling for. And if a business partnership has felt out of balance, whether emotionally or energetically, this eclipse may offer a moment of decision. Do you keep pouring in, or do you realign your worth? Libra's influence brings refinement to the way you approach both earning and spending. It encourages you to look at quality over quantity, long-term equity over short-term wins. This is a good time to revisit your values around money and to invest not only financially but emotionally in what feels stable, fair, and reciprocal. You don't need to control every outcome to be secure. You need clarity. And this eclipse brings just that, not through chaos, but through contrast. By showing you what no longer fits, it clears the path for smarter choices, cleaner agreements, and a more grounded approach to abundance. So take a step back, Reassess the numbers. Reconsider what wealth means to you now and what it should feel like. Not heavy, not rushed, but aligned. That's where your true prosperity begins. When it comes to relationships, this eclipse doesn't ask for grand gestures or dramatic ultimatums. It asks for honesty, quiet, unfiltered honesty. And for Leo, a sign that often carries both pride and heart in equal measure, that can be the most transformative kind of vulnerability. The full moon in Libra illuminates the space between self and other, the way you communicate, compromise, and navigate emotional contracts, spoken or unspoken. This lunar event may highlight subtle imbalances in your closest bonds, the text that's gone unanswered, the emotional weight you've been carrying alone, the unspoken expectation that has slowly become a wall, and suddenly, it all feels as if you may find yourself reevaluating a dynamic you've long accepted, a friendship, a romantic partnership, or even a family tie that once felt supportive may now feel strained, not because anyone failed, but because you've grown, and your capacity for truth has grown with you. Libra teaches relational equilibrium, but it doesn't mean keeping the peace at the expense of authenticity. If you've been holding your tongue to avoid conflict, this eclipse may bring a moment where staying silent feels heavier than speaking up. And Leo, you know this, your love is powerful, but it must be mutual effort, mutual respect, mutual care. At the same time, if you're in a bond that's rooted in fairness and mutual evolution, this eclipse can deepen your connection. A shared truth may come to the surface, something tender, clarifying, or long overdue. It might be a reconciliation, a conversation that clears old misunderstandings, or simply a feeling that you're both ready to turn a new page together. Let this eclipse be a reminder, being deeply connected doesn't mean being constantly agreeable. It means being real. And when you show up with your full self, with your warmth, your courage, and your clarity, the right people won't pull away. They'll come closer. And finally, for those who listen closely to the quiet language of numbers, this eclipse offers its own kind of numerological rhythm. April 17th, 2025 carries the universal energy of the number 8, a symbol of strength, karmic cycles, and material manifestation. In astrology, 8 isn't just about power, it's about the responsibility that comes with it. Under this Libra eclipse, the presence of 8 suggests that whatever you choose now, especially in matters of money, truth, and relationship, will echo farther than you think. Choose with integrity, and the rewards will be enduring. Alongside this, several other numbers hold particular resonance for you today. 2, the number of harmony, duality, and union. A reminder that balance doesn't mean sameness. It means respecting differences without losing connection. This is especially powerful under Libra's influence. 7, the Seeker's number. It invites reflection, solitude, and spiritual clarity. If you're feeling the pull to step back and look inward, trust that instinct. The answers may not come in words, but they'll arrive nonetheless. 11, a master number of intuition and awakening. Expect flashes of insight, déjà vu moments, or subtle signs that guide your next step. Pay attention to what repeats today. Names, places, symbols. They're speaking. Together, these numbers form a quiet constellation of support. Not loud, not demanding, just steady, intelligent reminders that the universe is paying attention and asking you to do the same. So if you feel called, write them down. 2, 7, plus 8, plus 11. Keep them in your pocket, your planner, your mind. Let them accompany you as small beacons, not of luck alone, but of alignment. So, if this eclipse feels quieter than expected, if it doesn't arrive with thunder, but with a pause, trust that. Because not all transformations announce themselves. Some unfold in stillness, in the gentle recognition that something within you is ready to shift. Leo, this isn't a moment for performance. It's a moment for precision, to realign with what feels honest, to release what no longer reflects you, and to return not to who you were, but to who you've quietly been becoming. Whether it's a belief you're ready to lay down, a relationship you're willing to see more clearly, or a pace of life you're finally choosing to soften, know that this eclipse isn't working against you, it's moving with you, whispering, "You don't have to carry so much, you just have to carry what's true." So take your time with this one. Let it land. Let it settle into the corners of your awareness. And when you're ready, step forward with less noise, more clarity, and the kind of strength that doesn't need to roar to be real.